Hello, my name is Steve Daugherty and I'm an attorney and CEO of Montana Elder Law. I want to discuss one of the VA's most powerful yet unknown benefits program. It's called the VA Aid and Attendance Pension. It's restricted to wartime vets age 65 and older and intended to provide financial support for healthcare issues, whether living at home, in assisted living, memory care, or nursing home. I think of applicants as being in one of two categories. First, are those who currently qualify, and second are those who do not currently qualify, but they will after certain estate planning steps have been taken. So let's review the requirements and determine which category you are in. The current eligibility requirements are age 65 and older, served during designated wartime periods, trouble with two of your activities of daily living, discharged other than dishonorably, and you own less than $130,000 of assets. If you currently meet those requirements, you may contact the VA directly and they can help. If, however, you own more than $130,000 in assets, then you'll need to implement some estate planning techniques that will get your countable assets below the 130. Let's now identify the qualifying wartime periods. They include World War II, December 7, 1941 through December 31, 1946. Korean conflict, June 27, 1950 through January 31, 1955. Vietnam War, in country, February 28, 1961 through August 4, 1964. This does include Blue Water veterans. And active duty anywhere, not restricted to boots on the ground, dates August 5, 1964 through May 5, 1975. And the Persian Gulf War, August 2, 1990 through a to-be-determined date. Next, you must demonstrate that you would benefit from or currently require assistance with two of your activities of daily living. It's important to know that this has nothing to do with service-connected disability. I'd like for you to hear from Kate Strauss, one of our excellent caseworkers, discuss this issue. Kate is both a registered nurse and a Navy veteran, so she understands these issues as well as anyone.
The healthcare requirements to meet medical eligibility for the veteran's pension at the maximum allowance for aid and attendance requires assistance with 5 activities of daily living. And when you talk about activities of daily living, you want to think about eating, bathing, toileting, showering, ambulation, and dressing. So the important thing to understand about that is that there are sort of tiers of assistance that would qualify someone for aid and attendance. And the basic tier, and I think the one that we think about the most, is for our veterans and our survivors who really do need physical hands-on care to complete those tasks. So for example, when you're thinking about eating, you want to think about actually having to feed someone with utensils, not to prepare their food, but to actually physically help someone eat. Or the same for, say, showering, that you're actually giving someone maybe a sponge bath or putting them in the shower and physically in there with them showering. So that's really probably what most people think, but often what we find and what we want to explain is that people tend to, of course, want to maintain their independence. And so as a veteran or survivor, you might very well have developed workarounds to maintain as much of the level of independence as possible. But you want to be really frank about what those workarounds may be, and really that without those workarounds, what sort of level of assistance would you really benefit from? So I want you to think about benefiting from caregiving assistance, not just what you're able to manage on your own, but if you were really able to have someone come in and help you, would you be able to benefit? So for example, sometimes people are pretty unsteady on their feet, maybe have a history of falls, maybe use a walker when they ambulate, and so you're really kind of uncomfortable taking a shower if, for example, your daughter or your son aren't physically in the house. That would actually be a qualification. You really need someone, what we call standby assistance, in order to shower when you have someone in the house if you want to actually get in the shower. Or dressing, for example. You might have decided you really don't do well with zippers and buttons and pullovers because maybe you have an issue with your shoulder. And so then now you just really limit the kind of limit the kind of clothing that you wear, where if you had someone there to help you button or zipper or tie your shoes or help you put something on over your head, that you would actually benefit from that assistance. So those are the things that we want you to think about. So again, even though we certainly want you to maintain your independence, we want you to think about how you would actually benefit from having someone assist you. That could also go to, for example, toileting, that maybe you just need some assistance getting on and off the toilet. It doesn't mean that you need someone there to sit with you as you use the bathroom or to help clean you up afterwards. But again, are you just uncomfortable getting on and off the toilet without someone being near? So those are the types of things that we want to think about. And then there's a whole nother level for those of our veterans and survivors who have a level of dementia. So these people are often capable, physically capable, of performing their ADLs. Again, they can feed themselves, they could get on and off the toilet, they could indeed take a shower alone, they could ambulate by themselves, but they have such a level of dementia or short-term memory loss that without a caregiver's guidance and prompting, they would, for example, forget to take a shower once or twice a week, or they would not dress appropriately for the weather, or they would forget to change their clothes or to launder their clothes, or even though they can ambulate, they would get lost very easily if they were to leave their home. So that's also a whole nother level of what people don't often think of caregiving or needing attendance and aid actually would qualify, and actually that's one of the easiest ways to qualify as well. So we want you to think on each of those levels.
Once you've met those requirements, then the benefit amounts are as follows. A monthly benefit for a surviving spouse or widow is $1,244 monthly or $14,928 annually. For a single veteran, it's $1,936 monthly or $23,232 annually. And for a married veteran, the amount is $2,295 monthly or $27,540 annually. Now, if there's two married vets, then the amount is $3,071 monthly or $36,852 annually. And remember, VA benefits are tax-free. Now, a little known secret is that you can use this money to hire a non-spouse family member to provide the assistance. Oftentimes, there is already a child or grandchild or other close relative that is providing some level of support. Now, they can be compensated for doing so. So the next question is, how do we as estate lawyers use the laws to lower your countable assets in order for you to qualify? Here's Stephen Colas, one of our VA accredited attorneys, to describe how we use the laws to help clients become eligible.
The VA pension, their biggest rule about assets is that you can't give assets away for less than fair market value. So when we do an analysis, what we want to do is find out how many assets you own and then compare it to what your eligibility threshold is. When we're looking at someone who's got more assets than the eligibility threshold, we want to figure out how to get you qualified as quickly as possible. Sometimes that's going to be creative solutions such as paying off your mortgage, buying a new vehicle. Sometimes that might be looking at triggering what's known as a penalty. And in those cases, we might look at structured gifting or putting assets into an irrevocable trust and then waiting out the penalty period. The VA pension has a 3-year look-back period. And what that means is when you apply for the pension, the VA will look back 3 years and see if you gave any assets away for less than fair market value. One of the reasons we will use an irrevocable trust, both for VA and for Medicaid purposes, is because it's got the best of both worlds. If you give your house away to your kids, that might not incur a penalty for the VA and maybe even Medicaid. But if your kids get sued or they get in a divorce, you might lose your house based on their liability. The irrevocable trust is designed to protect the assets in the trust from being counted for VA purposes and for Medicaid purposes, as well as making sure that your kids' liabilities don't bleed into your own assets.
Every family has a different situation, so there's not a one-size-fits-all legal solution. It's a case-by-case analysis, but just know that we have many tools in the toolbox to address these issues. Please listen to a few of the people whom we've already helped.
I think that the services we received are invaluable in relation to the benefits that Grandpa received. Montana Elder Law was able to get Grandpa qualified for the maximum benefit amount.
Another reason to maybe look at hiring Montana Elder Law is if I had gone to the VA directly, because Dad was part of the VA, if I had gone to the VA directly, Mom and Dad would not have instantly qualified for this benefit. They'd have looked at their income, they'd have looked at everything else, and they would not have qualified. We had some nuances that we had to look at in order for Mom and Dad to qualify, and Montana Elder Law is who helped us get there. It would not have happened any other way.
Well, I had no idea what price it should be, but it was worth every single penny.
I hope you find this information helpful. If you or someone you know may benefit from this program, please give us the opportunity to help them in our own way. Say thank you for your service. To schedule a free consultation with our firm, please click the link below. Thank you.